I know that ain't who I think it is.
I ain't seen
What is this? Huh? This is rock.
Hell no.
Check out that text when you 5 in the morning, you probably done paying your lease. Wanna get out of the country, you say you wanna go on a trip out of Greece. Wanna get out of the country, wanna get different, you wanna get runchy. Buy the ticket right now, you tell me you want me. Let's keep it going.
Straight Super Bowl wins.
What happened to every 3P?
First peak that even the greatest dynasties.
I'm about to take his head off. Hold on.
8 teams have tried, 8 teams have failed. So let's get into it. What happened in every Super Bowl 3-peat attempt in NFL history?
We only want winners. Why is this your credo? Is it the be-all and end-all of your life?
That's a tough question, Howard. In my business, there is only one place, and that's to be a winner.
Vince Lombardi's Packers start off this list, but let's not forget, the Pack won the NFL championship in 1965 before winning the first 2 Super Bowls.
Let's do it.
They are the only team since postseason play began to win 3 straight championships, even though the first was before the annual AFL-NFL clash. Green Bay easily toppled the Chiefs and Raiders at the end of the 1966 and 1967 seasons, which played a role in Lombardi's name finding a permanent home on the Super Bowl trophy a few years later.
Dale to the right, McGee to the left, Starr dropping straight back, hit as he throws, has the ball.
Green Bay, ain't gonna lie, man. They've historically been a great franchise, bro.
Here's his pitch, and it is intercepted. Herb Adderley picks it up at the 40, 50, down to the 40, a 70-yard interception return.
I'm not dressed like Funkwork Bentley.
Green Bay Packers, once again, are the world champions of pro football with a convincing 33-14 victory.
So what happened next? Well, the legendary coach resigned just days after the 67 season, staying on as GM. Lombardi relinquished his coaching duties to longtime assistant Phil Bankston. How exactly does one fill the shoes of a man who won 5 NFL titles in a 7-year span? The roster chock full of Hall of Famers, Bankston's Packers struggled to a 2-3 record early. A rash of injuries, most notably to QB Bart Starr, hampered Green Bay's 3-peat chances. Not to mention going most of the season without a kicker. It got so bad that Hall of Fame guard Jerry Kramer had to take over the duties at one point. As a result, the Packers were dreadful in close games, with 5 of their 7 losses.
This bad kicker never end. Man, if you got a good kicker on your team, it's like a luxury you don't even think about. These today is so trash.
Is coming within 1 score.
Los Angeles held a slight lead late in the game when they were forced to punt. Tom Brown grabbed the ball at midfield and raced 50 yards with what appeared to be the winning touchdown. The Packers now led 14-13, but with seconds remaining, the Rams got the ball one final time.
What made them stop hiring to commentate games like this? Because, back in the day, this archetype used to kill it in the park. Had 3 minutes to go in the game, Michael Jordan. Like, now nobody talk like that.
To give them a 16-14 victory.
Bankston's squad was finished off in a 16
Radio went out of style
at the hands of the Colts in Week 13. There would be no Super Bowl 3-peat, nor a quadrifecta of NFL
You can do it now. I'm good.
At 6-7-1, Green Bay finished with its first losing season since 1958. It foreshadowed the next 25 years of futility for the franchise. With new NFL powerhouses like Baltimore, Dallas, and Minnesota, the Packers earned just 2 playoff trips from 1968 to 1992.
It was
really is one of my coaching philosophies is somehow, some way, get the winning edge in the ball game.
He looks at you and figures how far he can push you.
Look at him! You can't come up unless he blocks!
And he takes you right to that breaking point.
It took all of 2 seasons for Don Shula to turn Miami into a title contender.
Let's get something out of the drill. Everything we do is for a reason.
The Hall of Fame coach led the Fins to the Super Bowl in 1971, then followed that up with the only perfect season in NFL history. By 1973, winning became automatic as Miami became the second team to...
There was almost another one, y'all. Shout out to Eli Manning, man. That was almost another one.
Pull off back-to-back Super Bowl wins.
The Miami Dolphins are the champions of the pro football world. They have won the Super Bowl for the 2nd time running. Only the 2nd team ever to do that.
With nearly the exact same roster coming back in 1974, Shula's team was poised for a 3rd consecutive title. But a stunning Week 1 loss was perhaps a sign of things to come that season. Miami bounced back quickly, though, sporting their typical ground and pound style. The Dolphins lost just 2 more times in the regular season by a combined 6 points. They sent 10 players to the Pro Bowl and finished top 6 in both scoring offense and defense. The juggernaut would face a tough test in the AFC Divisional, though, traveling to Oakland to take on John Madden's 12-2 Raiders. A showdown fit for Hollywood. This game had it all, including one of the greatest finishes in league history.
Here's the deep one to Brad. Deep. He's got it!
Got up, he gone. I got a receiver one, 21, nasty game.
20, down to the 15. He rams one man out of the way at the 10. He goes all the way. Touchdown, Dolphins. And Miami is back in front, 25-21. But the Miami Dolphins looking to be the first team ever to play in 4 straight Super Bowls and win 3 straight. 35 seconds left for Oakland. They trail 26-21.
Here he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he throws. It is.
What the Oh, man, they need to be ashamed of themselves, bro. I know them Dolphins was sick with all they fake hands they had back then, yo.
He throws. It is.
How do you let him catch this?
The play became known as the Sea of Hands, and it sent Miami home short of the AFC Championship game for the first time since 1970. Shula and company missed the playoffs each of the next 3 seasons, and the Dolphins have yet to regain the Lombardi at any point since 1973.
Yeah, they close. They're not even close.
While Clarence Davis put an end to Miami's three-peat bid, Pittsburgh was launching a dynasty of their own on the other side of the AFC bracket.
Here is Bradshaw, rolling right. Bradshaw gets a big block and fires into the end zone, complete for the touchdown. Pittsburgh, the Super Bowl champ. World champ, number one. They're still a very young team. I would say their best years are ahead of them.
The Steelers took home their first ever Super Bowl in 1974, taking the throne as the new kings of the NFL. 1975 was no different as Pittsburgh and its steel curtain defense powered its way to a second trophy in Super Bowl X.
Oh, they say they is.
Hungry and loaded on both sides of the ball, this looked like a squad that would win 3 in a row.
Okay, you recall. Here is Bradshaw. Bothered from behind. Lynn Swan is open. Got it.
That is man, that is a mother dive. Okay, Terry.
Yet the first 5 games of the 1976 campaign were an unexpected disaster for Chuck Noll's team. A 1-4 start saw that ferocious steel curtain allow 110 points. Pittsburgh blew a 14-point lead to the arch-rival Raiders in Week 1 and committed 6 turnovers in back-to-back games in Weeks 3 and 4. Now, taking every team's best shot, it was time to reestablish its championship prestige.
Turnaround 76 had begun. The most dramatic comeback in NFL history lay ahead.
Despite playing without Terry Bradshaw for a chunk of the season, the Steelers won out the rest of the way. 9 straight victories to close out the season, and get this. Pittsburgh's defense gave up just 28 total points in those final 9 games. That's just absurd. Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier each had over 1,000 yards, leading the squad to another division crown and a demolition of the AFC divisional round. The Steelers poured on 40 points and over 500 yards of offense, but the win came at a cost. Pittsburgh lost both of their running backs that day and went into the AFC title game wounded. Raiders had playoff revenge on their minds. 1972, 1974, and 1975 each ended with season-ending losses to the Steelers. Not on this day.
Stabler play fakes, drops back. Here comes the rush. He gets.
Let me tell you what. Stabler is one of the guys that is often forgotten in the NFL, but we done seen him back-to-back times. This is the killer of three-peats. This the killer of three-peats, y'all. He not playing. And also, ever since he left, the Raiders have struggled to get any consistency at the quarterback position.
Rid of it to Bankston. Touchdown Raiders. Stabler gives to Clarence Davis. He dives. Touchdown Raiders. He fires one that Fuqua can't hold.
Look at this.
Oakland set the tone and finally got over the hump. A 24-7 win erased any dreams of a black and gold three-peat. But guess what? Pittsburgh had another shot at it just 4 years later.
Ridiculous.
The decade went back-to-back again in 1978
That's
and
ridiculous.
1979. They finished top 5 in both scoring offense and
Oh my
defense
God,
in
what a
each of those
nasty
seasons,
run.
with the star-studded cast thriving on the big stage.
Swan makes a circus catch in the end zone. Unbelievable catch for the touchdown. He looks
DB,
like
I don't know what the
a
hell you on.
circus. Bradshaw pumping, firing downfield. There goes Stallworth. He pulls it in at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, and it's a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh came out of the decade with 4 Lombardi trophies and looked to become the first team to take home 3 in a row going into 1980. With the Hall of Fame core still intact, the Steelers jumped out to a 4-1 record to start the campaign. But Pittsburgh's 18 extra postseason battles throughout the 70s began to take its toll on this group of seasoned veterans. The Steel Curtain went from elite to average, finishing middle in yards and points allowed. Meanwhile, star wideout John Stallworth was lost for nearly the entire season with a broken leg. Frank Harris would post his lowest rushing total since 1973, while Terry Bradshaw tossed 22 interceptions.
Oh my
And
God.
if that wasn't enough, the Steelers lost 4 games by a combined 15 points from weeks 3 to 8.
The AFC's balance of power was shifting. For a team accustomed to winning Super Bowls, the remainder of the 1980 season went down like castor oil.
Rallying back to get to 7-4, Pittsburgh fell flat the rest of the way. A pair of costly losses to Buffalo and Houston knocked Noel's team out of the playoffs.
Shout out to
for
them
the
Oilers,
first time
man.
Since 1971. The dynasty slowly fizzled out from there, with many of the aging legends walking away in the coming years. Pittsburgh did make 4 playoff trips in the 80s, but didn't find Super Bowl success again until 2005.
And that's the last time. Right? No. They won one after that, right?
The 49ers,
Yeah, they won in 08. Okay.
in one of the greatest football games ever played by one team, become the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls since the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Versus the Cards. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Repeat. We're going for 3 again. We're the first team in the history to do that. That's our next goal.
We go
To do
from
that.
one dynasty to the next now, as San Francisco matched Pittsburgh's 4-pack of Lombardis in the 1980s. Joe Montana's game-winning drive in Super Bowl 23 was ultimately followed with an MVP season and an MVP performance in Super Bowl 24. By 1990, the Niners were clicking on all cylinders and had their eyes set on
My
the three-peat. They became
Niners!
the first team ever with back-to-back 14-win seasons and
Take over, man. I remember you had 3 teams. I thought you got rid of the Niners. Which one you got rid of, man? The Bears, the Rams, the Niners. What team did you get rid of? I got rid of the Rams. Okay.
Montana would take home a second straight MVP trophy.
16 seconds left. Montana, number 16, back to throw it.
Y'all heard that, Carr?
Touchdown and got it to Taylor.
Look how calmly he does it. Looks.
Why you checking? I'm just asking. That was loud as shit.
Looks all over the field.
I ain't
That's
I'm
why
just
these
asking,
guys
man.
are World champions.
At one point, this squad won 18 straight games between 1989 and 1990. Jerry Rice went for over 1,500 yards in another All-Pro season, while the Ronnie Lott-led defense allowed 15 points per game. San Francisco cruised to a 3rd straight NFC title game and another playoff showdown with the rival Giants. These teams faced off 5 times in the playoffs from 1981 to 1990, and there was no love lost.
Celebrating Chris Sims'
49ers
face like
went
that
into
is
the clash
crazy.
as an 8-point favorite, yet New York never backed down. A sustained drama and intensity flowed throughout the afternoon at Candlestick, and one play in particular changed the game and the course of 49ers history.
Montana, long time in the pocket, but chased out.
Ooh.
And the ball's loose, and turnover maybe.
Right there is a hit. Leonard Marshall coming from the backside.
Montana up, but woozy.
Leonard Marshall's hit knocked Joe Montana out of the game and would effectively end the Hall of Fame QB's tenure in San Francisco. Now clinging to a 1-point lead in the final minutes, All the Niners had to do was pick up a first down and hold on to the ball.
Fumbled that.
Scrimmage, and the Giants have the ball. Lawrence Taylor out of the pack with
That
the
was
ball.
horrible.
Kick is away. It's got the distance. It is good.
Horrible.
Good.
And the Giants are going to Tampa Bay.
What up,
It's over
Trays?
for the three-peats.
Matt Barr's fifth field goal of the day propelled the G-men to their second NFC crown in
5
5
field goals
years,
is
leading
nasty.
the 49ers dynasty as we knew it. While the transition from Montana to Young was nearly seamless, San Francisco took its fair share of playoff bumps in the following seasons at the hands of the league's next dynasty.
There they go.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Jimmy Johnson was hired in 1980.
I'm gonna keep it honest, man. It ain't nothing like seeing them 90 starter jacket. Well, it's not even a starter. What's this? I think it's a pro era. I forgot this jacket cleaned in the. I don't mean like the Cowboys.
Jimmy Johnson was hired in 1989 to restore Dallas to glory and turn America's team into juggernauts once again. By 1992,
It's an Apex jacket,
that
okay.
became a reality. The Cowboys took down San Francisco in back-to-back NFC title games before securing the Lombardi in each of those campaigns. Led by the triplets, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, Dallas rose to prominence.
How the hell
as
you
the
gonna
team
stop
of the
that team? That's
90s.
bullshit.
2 in a row. How sweet it is.
After another thrashing of Buffalo in Super Bowl 28, all eyes were set on the 1994 season and the first ever three-peat. Just one problem.
We have mutually decided that I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
Man, this dude's ego dead ass ruined the Cowboys, bro. I don't even think it's an exaggeration, bro. This killed the dynasty because he wants the credit, I guess. Like, why would you? Yo, this jackass.
That I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
The relationship between Jimmy Johnson and team owner Jerry Jones had boiled over, and suddenly the back-to-back champs were in need of a leader. Enter Barry Switzer.
I hope I can do as good a job as Jimmy Johnson. That's what you're hoping, and that's what you're hoping. That's why I'm here.
The former Oklahoma coach had big shoes to fill, and he performed admirably in his first season. Dallas went 12-4 in 1994,
Okay.
with each of those losses coming by one score. The Cowboys were dominant on both sides of the ball, finishing with a top 3 scoring offense and defense. A whopping 11 Pro Bowlers carried Dallas
His
to
first
another
year, he
division
cooked.
crown and a third straight clash with the Niners in the NFC Championship. But the first half turned from bad to worse in round 3.
Aikman sends it down the left side. Ball is caught and knocked down. That could be a fumble. Yes, it is
Playmaker
a
dropping the
fumble.
ball.
Williams out near the 30-yard line. Ball is fumbled. I think they've got it again. 49ers have it again. Is Aikman, some pressure, gets the pass away. Eric Davis picks it up.
Nasty
He's
throw.
got a lane down the left side. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown 49ers.
Look how big his shoulder pads is.
3
Bouncing.
touchdowns in the first half of the first quarter.
The Cowboys gave the ball away 5 times and allowed 31 first half points. Despite a late rally, Dallas couldn't climb out of the hole and fell 38.
Trey gonna average 20 pads per game. I'm not hitting nobody, mother. I'm good play, and then hit in the back of his mother shoulder pads ahead or something.
28. While Switzer failed to reach the top of the mountain in 94, he silenced the critics
Hey,
the following
Steph.
season. The
Thank you for the
Cowboys
prime
were
game.
champs for the
Welcome.
3rd time in 4 years, and just think of how close they came to winning 4 straight Lombardis. Okay, fast forward now 2 seasons where a longtime legend finally broke through.
This one's for John.
After
Broncos.
dropping his first 3 Super Bowls, John Elway and the Broncos took it home in 1997 with a huge boost from Hall of Fame running back Terrell Davis. TD was even better.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. The sports talk conversation is like, the way that we look at certain people is so different. One thing that I do know, if you win a Super Bowl as a quarterback or a head coach, like, you're cemented as a legend, period. Unless you was just absolutely doing that. Like, so a lot of the dudes that we look at me like, man, all right, yo, he was nice, bro. He was all right. Just because he won 1 Super Bowl, to tell you the truth. Now,
better in 1998, becoming the 4th player.
Look how Eagles fans look at Nick Foles. Nigga, he's that guy.
For 2,000 yards in a single season. Denver was a force that season, finishing 14-2, capping off the brilliant season with a.
You a damn lot. Wentz killed it though. Listen, I'm not unaware of what Wentz did. Wentz was in an MVP conversation that time, but he got hurt, and Nick Foles was their quarterback for most of the playoffs, right? Am I wrong? Yo. Okay, pretty much. If the didn't go on a playoff run, if he wasn't a quarterback for a playoff, nobody giving you credit. If Lamar Jackson leads the Ravens to a season like he had this year, and then he, hopefully this doesn't happen, gets hurt, the backup quarterback takes the Ravens to the Super Bowl, you think don't give Lamar credit for that Super Bowl? No. Hell no. So Wentz don't get no credit.
Second straight Lombardi. The perfect time, as Elway saw it, to ride off into the sunset.
And I really don't look at it as retirement. I look at it as graduation. We all graduated from high school.
That's what happened with Hurts and Bama. Facts. Facts when Tua took over.
Just graduated from pro football.
So how would the Broncos replace their 16-year leader and the greatest player in franchise history? Mike Shanahan would hand the reins to second-year QB Brian Griese, a national champion at the University of Michigan. But the plan was to ride Davis just as Denver had the previous 2 seasons. After an 0-3 start, all hopes of a Super Bowl three-peat were crushed in Week 4.
Over the middle, and this one is intercepted. And it's Victor Green who holds on this time. And is knocked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
Is that TD?
The injured Bronco got rolled up on. Terrell was able to get up and walk to the sideline.
Lord have mercy.
The replay did not look good.
Davis tore his ACL and was lost for the season. Griese went just 4-9 as the starter, throwing 14 touchdowns to 14 picks. Despite returning most of their Super Bowl roster, the loss of Elway and Davis was too much to overcome, and the Broncos finished just 6-10. Shanahan stayed on as coach until 2008, making 4 more playoff trips, but Denver didn't win another Lombardi until 2015.
And the Patriots are
Here they go.
champions again.
They gonna have 2 attempts at this, right?
3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty.
New England's unprecedented 2-decade dynasty reached its highest level after a second straight Super Bowl win in 2004. The 14-2 Pats obliterated their foes with a plus 177 point differential that year. So what happened next? Tom Brady and Bill Belichick returned to lead a 3rd straight championship season, but a slew of medical concerns and key off-season departures set the defense back in 2005. Ty Law was waived before signing elsewhere in free agency. Safety Rodney Harrison was lost for the season in Week 3, and linebacker Teddy Bruschi suffered a stroke that nearly ended his career. In all,
I didn't know this had a stroke. What the
New England would start 45 different players.
A stroke is crazy.
Campaign. Yet despite all of that, this squad still came out of the season with 10 wins and an AFC East title.
Lossman 1st and 10, batted down, intercepted.
Look at that.
By Sanders, he will go the distance.
The Pats hosted Jacksonville in their first wild-card game since 1998, coincidentally also against the Jags. Willie McGinnis set a playoff record with 4.5 as New England cruised to a 28-3 victory. That, though, is where the fun ended. In a place that proved to be Brady and Belichick's kryptonite, the Broncos took it to the 2-time defending champs.
Coming after Brady, gets it away, he's picked in the end zone. It's Bailey. Bailey takes
Shout out to Champ, man.
from the one man who had a shot at him. Talk about a game changer. Bailey is in or not. Running it back 100 yards before Watson comes in at the last minute.
Denver
Good play, bro.
dominated in
Good
a
play, though.
27-13 win, handing Belichick his first playoff loss as Patriots head coach. And if you're counting at home, that makes it 0 for 8 on three-peat tries. As the Chiefs look to buck the trend in 2024,
I think this is the team that is going to stop their streak. This will be the three-peat team. Please let the refs continue, y'all. Please. Please do it. Don't change up now. Don't change the script. Keep it the same way. I think this is the team. I think this is the team, yo. F you, nah. Nah, man. We can't be the only ones, yo. It gotta be everybody else. And I'm not trolling. I'm so serious. I think y'all know I'm serious at this point because I done said it so many times. I'm not trolling. I pray this stay the same. Because nobody give a about what's going on until it's their team.
We've seen it takes a lot to bounce a great team out of title contention, whether it be injuries, roster turnover, father time catching up, or just a bad bounce of the ball. The Super Bowl three-peat is the NFL's white whale, and it may take a miracle to get the job done.
You ain't lying?